Welcome to this deep dive into Gladiator II, 2024, a film that carries the torch of Ridley Scott's legendary 2000 epic, Gladiator. In this sequel, we return to the brutal world of ancient Rome, where the arena still echoes with the cries of its fallen gladiators and the quest for power remains unyielding. But this time, the narrative takes a significant departure as we explore the aftermath of Maximus Decimus Meridius's death and the fate of his son, now an adult, navigating the dangerous political landscape left in the wake of his father's triumph. Gladiator II picks up nearly 2 decades after the conclusion of the first film, ushering in a new chapter of Rome's blood-soaked history. The world of ancient Rome has evolved, but some things never change. Its thirst for power, its brutality, and its reliance on the gladiatorial games to maintain control. Maximus's death at the hands of Commodus has left a profound mark, not only on the empire, but on his family as well. The story begins in the aftermath of this fall, exploring the impact of Maximus's legacy on his son, Lucius, a young boy when he lost his father, and now a man struggling to find his place in a tumultuous world. As Gladiator II opens, we return to the Colosseum, now a solemn monument to Maximus's victories. This iconic arena, once the site of glory and bloodshed, now stands as a silent reminder of the cost of power. The legacy of Maximus Decimus Meridius, his rebellion against the emperor, his defiance in the face of death, and his sacrifice for the people, is woven into the very stones of the arena. Yet, in the wake of his death, Rome has changed. The empire is no longer under the tyrannical rule of Commodus, but it remains deeply fractured. The question now is not who will rule, but how Rome can continue to survive the never-ending political chaos that threatens to consume it. In this new chapter, we meet Lucius, the young son of Maximus, now a man in his mid-20s, portrayed by the talented Mescal. Lucius is a character defined by inner conflict and emotional complexity. He inherits not only a family name but the undying spirit of his father, a man who once toppled an emperor. Despite this remarkable heritage, Lucius does not wish to follow in his father's footsteps. He does not yearn for power or glory. What he desires is peace, a life far removed from the violence and corruption of Rome. But as we quickly learn, peace is a luxury in a city built on blood's heat. Lucius's struggle to reconcile his personal desires with the brutal reality of his birthright sets the tone for much of the film. As he attempts to escape the shadow of his father, he finds that the empire itself will not allow him to simply fade into obscurity. In the midst of Rome's dangerous political landscape, his very existence becomes a symbol of something much larger, a legacy that people both fear and revere. As the story unfolds, we meet the new emperor of Rome, Gaius Galba, portrayed by Pedro Pascal. Galba is a military general who has seized power through a bloody coup, overthrowing the Senate and asserting his dominance over the empire. Galba's rise to power is marked by ruthlessness and ambition, and he seeks to cement his control by any means necessary. Whereas Commodus was driven by vanity and a thirst for personal glory, Galba is driven by a cold, calculating need for power. His reign is one of terror, and he will stop at nothing to crush any opposition. Gaius Galba represents the embodiment of the political elite who have long manipulated the power structures of Rome for their own benefit. He is a product of a system that values survival over all else, and he is more than willing to spill any amount of blood to preserve his hold on the throne. In contrast to Maximus's heroism, Galba's power is built on a foundation of cruelty and oppression. The film takes a sharp turn as Lucius finds himself pulled into the treacherous web of Roman politics. At first, he resists, not wanting to become another pawn in the emperor's game. But circumstances force him to confront the empire's brutality head-on. The gladiatorial games, once a symbol of honor and rebellion in the first film, have now become a tool for the emperor's oppression. The arena, once a space where men fought for their freedom, has been transformed into a grotesque spectacle where the emperor can assert his dominance and quash any hopes of rebellion. Lucius, captured by the emperor's forces, is thrust into the arena. But unlike his father, who fought for a clear purpose, revenge, justice, and freedom, Lucius is not motivated by bloodlust or a thirst for vengeance. His fight is one for survival, a desperate attempt to protect those he loves and to navigate a world that seems beyond his control. His internal conflict is at the heart of Gladiator II, as he struggles to reconcile his personal values with the brutal realities of his situation. The choreography of the gladiatorial battles is intense and visceral, capturing the raw brutality of combat in ancient Rome. Every clash of swords, every fallen gladiator, serves as a reminder of the cost of power and the violence that defines the empire. But the violence in Gladiator II is not without emotional depth. Each fight Lucius endures is a test not only of his physical strength, but of his spirit. It's a reflection of his internal journey as he seeks to understand who he is and what his father's legacy truly means. As Lucius rises through the ranks of the gladiators, he becomes more than just a survivor. He becomes a symbol of hope for the oppressed classes of Rome. The people see in him the legacy of Maximus, the man who once toppled an emperor and changed the course of history. But with this rise comes an increasing realization of the empire's inherent cruelty. The political undercurrents that have been simmering beneath the surface slowly begin to boil over, and Lucius finds himself at the center of a growing rebellion. The oppressed gladiators, slaves, and common people of Rome begin to rally behind him, seeing in him a potential savior, a leader who can lead them to freedom. However, as Lucius gains power, his internal struggle intensifies. Is he merely a puppet in a game he cannot control? Or does he have the strength to break free from the cycle of violence and power that has gripped Rome for centuries? This existential question lies at the core of Gladiator II, as Lucius grapples with his role in a world where freedom and justice seem unattainable. The climax of Gladiator II is as emotional and brutal as the original film. Lucius, now fully embracing his legacy, confronts Emperor Gaius Galba in a final, bloody battle that mirrors the iconic confrontation between Maximus and Commodus. But in this moment, there is more at stake than personal revenge. Lucius's fight is not just against Galba. It is a fight against the very system that has kept Rome in chains for centuries. The film's final battle is not just a spectacle of violence, but a metaphor for the struggle for freedom, justice, and the hope for a better future. The film builds toward this moment with tremendous emotional depth, focusing not just on the action but on the themes of legacy, power, and the cost of tyranny. Lucius's journey is a powerful reminder that while history is often shaped by violence and oppression, the human spirit is capable of resistance and transformation. In the end, Lucius's fight is not just for survival. It is for the future of Rome and for the ideals of freedom and justice that his father once embodied. As the dust settles and the fate of the empire is determined, Gladiator II leaves us with a powerful message about the cyclical nature of history and the enduring strength of the human spirit. It reminds us that even in the darkest times, there is always hope, and that the legacy of those who fought for justice and freedom can continue to inspire future generations. Lucius's journey is one of transformation, a journey from the son of a gladiator to a leader who will shape the future of Rome. The film ends on a poignant note, emphasizing that the fight for freedom and justice is never easy, but it is always worth it. Even in the darkest corners of history, the human spirit can rise up and change the course of destiny. Thank you for watching this in-depth review of Gladiator II, 2024. This film brings back the heart and soul of the original while carving out its own unique path. With stunning visuals, intense action, and emotional depth, it's a worthy continuation of the Gladiator saga. Whether you're a fan of the first film or new to the franchise, Gladiator II is sure to leave a lasting impression.